Welcome again. We will solve few image-based questions of topic atomic structure and radiation protection, and also few MCQs from both the topic. What does the depth of well represent in nuclear terms? In an electromagnetic wave, the electric and magnetic fields are the energy unit GVc² is used to express how many stable nuclei have both odd Z and odd N. The weak nuclear force is involved. If an electron transitions from M to K shell, the energy emitted is closest to the curve shown in the plot indicates that one unified atomic mass unit, U, is defined as mass defect in nucleus refers to which vector represents the direction of energy propagation. Which region corresponds to radiation with maximum photon energy. Which of the following particles mediates weak nuclear force? The strongest fundamental force in nature is correct sequence of 4 forces of nature in order of their strength. Characteristic X-rays are emitted when in the decay scheme of cobalt-60, the emitted particles are what does the barrier height B in the diagram represent? The electromagnetic wave property velocity equals sine frequency into lambda implies that which particle is not a lepton? Characteristic X-rays are emitted when the Higgs boson is responsible for de Broglie's hypothesis established. Which particle is considered fundamental and has no known substructure? Quarks that make up protons consist of which radiation has wavelengths approximately in the range of 400 to 700 nanometers. The term mass-energy equivalence is represented by which famous equation? The Standard Model classifies fundamental particles into the Compton effect demonstrates in quantum mechanics, electron orbits are characterized by radiation reaches the door via the schematic diagram of a megavoltage therapy room illustrates a maze design primarily to the dose equivalent H is calculated as which radiation type has a quality factor Q of 20. Effective dose equivalent accounts for the annual risk coefficient for stochastic effects in radiation workers is the largest contributor to background effective dose equivalent is NIRL corresponds to an annual risk of an occupancy factor T of 1/40 applies to for low-level radiation surveys. The most appropriate instrument is a medical event must be reported if the delivered dose exceeds the prescribed dose by Personnel monitoring in controlled areas is typically done using the genetically significant dose equivalent excludes cobalt-60 teletherapy leakage in the off position must not exceed for TBI treatments, shielding calculations must adjust. A moderated BF3 proportional counter detects neutrons primarily through which reaction? Which region of India is notably known for high levels of natural terrestrial radiation due to monazite sands? What does NIRL stand for in radiation protection? NIRL is annual risk probability, dimensionless. NIRL is defined as an annual risk of 10 to the power -7 for fatal health effects. A level of average annual excess risk below which further effort to reduce radiation exposure is unwarranted. The device shown in Fig 16.4 is best suited for measuring the QT-Pi is a large volume ionization chamber for low-level X-ray/gamma measurements. The portable instrument in Fig 16.5 uses which technology to measure neutron dose equivalent? The Rascal neutron counter uses a BF3 proportional counter surrounded by a cadmium-loaded polyethylene sphere to thermalize neutrons.